she was like trying to give tips on trying to avoid Florence's pubes. Florence's
pubes.
Florence's pubes.
Well, that too.
If you're a geek, have a listen. We got the news. This week's edition. We're talking movies, games, TV, and comics. Turn it up. Feel the Geeks podcast. It's the Feel the Geeks podcast. It's the Feel the Geeks podcast. It's the Feel the Geeks pod. Feel the Geeks. You're listening to the Feel the Geeks podcast.
Hello, and welcome to episode 208 of the Field of Geeks podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Bill.
And I'm Jonah.
And we have an audience.
We're off to a stellar.
Oh, hi, everybody.
We're off to a stellar start.
Yeah.
This podcast is not recorded in front of a live studio audience.
I'll put that banner at the bottom. So how's it going, guys? Hey, fuck you.
Good.
That works pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Doing well, thank you.
Great. Awesome. Well, yeah, it's been a little bit. That's the usual phrase I have. It's been a little bit. So
Yeah.
it's been over 2 weeks. But we had the state fair, and I only went there one day, and it was terrible. It was really hot. And
State fair is always terrible.
yeah, well, that cold front, though, would have been better. Just food-wise, that's all I care about. I don't want to see anything else. But
I went out there
Yeah.
for the Ludacris concert, and that was like
yeah.
the best day weather-wise.
yeah, good.
So-
Good.
Yeah. The concert was good, too.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Pretty long?
No, short. He
Really?
only played for like an hour.
Really?
And he did all of his bangers, like
Yeah.
every song. But not even the full versions of every song necessarily. Like some of them were kind of like a
Yeah.
Cliff's Notes version. But yeah, he played for like an hour, and then Sean Kingston came on. It was supposed to be the other way around. But Kingston got delayed getting in to the city. And so they pushed the concert back like a half an hour. Ludacris came out first, and then Sean Kingston closed it out.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm not a big Sean Kingston fan anyway, but my
Yeah.
issue with him, and I've seen it, it's not just him, I've seen it with like other artists when they do these live concerts, is like they've got the track playing behind them and then they're kind of singing over the track. So even when he stops singing to say something, you can hear him singing behind it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I hate that.
So there is some lip syncing then?
I don't think he's lip syncing because,
Yeah.
I mean, it's his voice.
Oh, it's just
he's not pretending
it's
to sing
delayed,
it.
you're
'Cause-
saying a little bit.
No, I mean,
right?
he will
Or-
sing it, but
Yeah.
he'll be like, yeah, you know, or whatever, you know, throw your hand. I can't do it, but I'm so not hip. But then there's still like, you know, him singing behind it, and it's like bad CGI. It just takes me out of it completely.
Nice.
Don't like it.
So there's a bit of a controversy now with the state fair. Did you hear about this?
There's
No.
always
About the butter
controversy
cow.
with the state fair.
Oh.
It's not all butter.
I know.
What the hell is that?
I know.
I saw a picture of that on Facebook. It's like somebody like just covering.
It's like a wire frame that's just
wire
like
frame.
smeared with
There's
butter.
still artistry, but yeah, it's not a whole thing of butter.
Yeah,
so.
that's disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, God, what happened with the Caitlin Clark one? Geez, that looked terrible at first, and it got better. But when they first showed it, I'm like, oh.
Did it start to look better as it melted? Is that what you mean, or what?
No, they added more hair to it, and they kept working on her. But I'm like, maybe you guys did too much this year. Like,
Just,
Yeah, well, plus it's hard to get someone's like a real person's likeness.
True.
I mean,
Yeah.
even look at like action
Give 'em a
figures.
little
when they-
pass. It's
how
not-
many bad Han Solo action figures have we had because it doesn't look like Harrison Ford, right?
Oh, yeah.
And when it does look like Harrison Ford, he's not, you know, a particularly handsome man. And so, and I say this, people tell me I look like a young Harrison Ford, so I know what I'm talking about. But
get a
it's hard to
pass.
get. It's hard to get that right. That was not even a joke. They actually do.
this is going to work out pretty well.
Yeah,
I
I'm
like
gonna
this.
snap that from you in about 2 seconds.
I got this on vacation, so shout out to Park Rapids, Benjamin Franklin. Yeah, they listen. Sure, get
Sure they
some
do.
sponsors, right?
Is that
Yeah.
all right? Is that a store?
Yeah,
Yeah.
up there. Yeah,
Okay.
They have a bookstore now too.
Benjamin Franklin
Yeah,
is a bookstore.
it's Benjamin. Well, they have Benjamin Franklin, and across the street, Benjamin Franklin Books.
Okay.
So it's like a used bookstore, sort of. But
Okay.
yeah,
Where's
there's
this at?
Park Rapids, Minnesota.
Okay.
It's like eight.
Is
9
this the same
hours.
chain? Okay, is there a Benjamin Franklin at Park Fair? Or there used to
Yeah,
be?
there is a
There
chain
used
of
to be,
Benjamin
yeah.
Franklins.
Used to be.
They're just not
Okay.
we never had them around here.
God.
I
There's-
remember. Yeah.
There was one when I was growing up. It was on
Was there?
McKinley.
Okay. Yeah. I guess just around this area.
Yeah.
I never saw them until I went
For
up
our
north.
audience across the nation, they have no
Yeah.
idea what we're talking.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's our
no.
Minnesota people, so it's all
Like,
good.
oh, McKinley. Okay.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, but no, you remember Dot? You remember Dot at all? There was a Dot down here. By half price books.
Was there might have been one in Pleasant Hill.
Yeah, it was very like I remember seeing the.
Was it like a pharmacy type place?
Yeah, it was like a Walgreens, I think, but they had like. I guess you would say
All right,
like
so
Walgreens.
I think I remember there being a Dot, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I remember going into a Dot with my grandparents, and I think my cousin was with me.
Yep.
And they had like some board games, like a little section of board games.
Yeah.
And they had a G.I. Joe board game, which I had to have.
Of course.
Right.
And it sucked. And then they had all right, I'm going to say this wrong. Stratego
Okay.
or Stratego?
Stratego, I think.
Stratego?
Yeah.
And then my cousin bought that one, and that game was way more fun than the G.I. Joe game, and I felt like such a loser for picking up the G.I. Joe game.
Well,
and also for losing Stratego.
But I think the only memory I have in Dot is I swear it was the Death in the Family comic I saw in one of the aisles, but I was too young to really know what that all was. But I still think I remember Batman cradling Robin, and
Oh.
yeah, that was probably like our first print. I should have got it
Yeah.
at Dot. Well, going back to some other characters from our past, Pee Wee Herman passed away, and obviously it's been a while, but Paul Rubens, obviously. Were you guys big Pee Wee fans?
I did watch it quite a bit back in the day.
Oh, I love Pee Wee.
I was a huge Pee Wee fan. Like I told you guys before we started recording, I used to do impersonations of Pee Wee. I'm not going to do it.
Damn.
Because I don't need you
Boo.
crickets again.
Okay.
Or booing. But I was a huge Pee Wee fan. Like Big Adventure is like one of my favorite movies as a kid.
Yeah.
Pee Wee's Playhouse, I watched religiously. The Pee Wee Christmas special. Do you guys remember that?
I don't.
Vaguely.
Hopefully you can see it on Netflix. That's where all the
I don't know if it's on Netflix.
Right?
I haven't seen it in years, but
Yeah.
it's where, everyone brings him a fruitcake. And he like is getting so annoyed that everyone's bringing him fruitcake, but he ends up like making a fruitcake room on his playhouse by the end of it. But it's got like Dolly Parton, and of course Cowboy Curtis comes in, and it's got a lot of like celebrity guest stars
Lawrence Fishburne.
that pop in there.
Yep.
And so, I haven't seen it in a long time, but I used to watch that all the time as a kid too,
Oh, yeah.
like especially around Christmas time.
Did you have the doll?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah. And I actually remember one time I got in big trouble because I was doing my Pee Wee impersonations. And I don't even know how old I was. And I meant, it was like you pull the string and he would like talk or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I was kind of like just flying him around my uncle's house. And I was, all right, I'm again not going to do an impersonation, but I was like, ha,
You
ha.
want to, though.
I was like, ha, and I meant to say I'm a prep. But what I said was, ha, I'm a prick. And I got in so much trouble. My dad was like, what'd you say? And I was like, I'm a prep. And he did not sound anything like it.
You can't get out of it.
Fucking Pee Wee got me into trouble. But
Oh,
I love
man.
Pee Wee.
Yeah.
Paul Rubens. I'm sad about this. So, because not only just that,
too.
he was a good actor.
Yeah.
He was.
Other roles that he took on. Like
Yeah.
Mystery Men.
Oh, I
Yes.
loved him in Mystery Men.
Yep.
And there was so many times too where I'd see him in a role and be like, I didn't even recognize that it was him. Like Batman Returns
Yeah.
Yes.
as like Penguin's father in the very beginning.
The mom was also the
That
waitress
was
in.
Simone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the Big Adventure. Yep.
Yep. So yeah,
There's memes about them being the same people. It's funny, but
that is pretty funny.
yeah, he was in the Blues Brothers. I remember seeing Blues Brothers like after I knew of him, and he's one of the waiters when they crash and obnoxious and stuff.
I just recently saw him. I've started watching What We Do in the Shadows, the series,
Oh yes, yeah.
and
Was he on that?
yeah, he
Oh,
was
sweet.
one of the Vampire Council.
Oh, I think I
wow.
remember
Along
that now.
with Danny Trejo, who's like
Oh,
actually
God.
playing like himself.
Yeah.
And
no
so-
makeup. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I just saw him recently in that.
Did he kind of look like his vampire character from Buffy?
Long haired.
Did they kind of hint he's the same guy, or just
a little
it probably
bit? Because he
couldn't?
looked like
Yeah.
it could have been the same character.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. That was a part you didn't really know about, and that might have been after that whole adult theater. That was such a bummer. And
Yeah, it was right around Buffy, and the adult thing was right around the same time.
yeah. Well, yeah. I think that's what ended Pee Wee's Playhouse, and I just remember at the time like they released the mugshot, and you're like, I was like, that's Pee Wee. Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So different. But in hindsight, I'm glad he got redemption. He got to do the character again, and people got over it. And if it would have happened now, I don't think it would have been at that much
It was.
outrageous.
I mean, that was like earliest form of cancel culture.
Yeah,
right
pretty
there.
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
And me as a kid, when that happened, I was like, who fucking cares? Give me Pee-wee's Playhouse. Like,
Right,
I don't
right,
care what,
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
care what you
Yeah.
got caught doing.
Yeah, you're ahead of your time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just like, what? Pee Wee, no. He actually developed that character with Phil Hartman, and they had like for his first special on HBO in 1981. So that was when I was born. So
The character's been around a long time.
Yeah, he perfected the whole character, and it's just like a unique pop culture icon. Like he would kind of get into like sexual things, but then he'd pull it back, and he was like kid friendly. It was odd. Like if you look at, I haven't seen Big Adventure for a while, but I remember in Big Top Pee Wee, he was like all over two girls in that whole movie. Like just,
Well, the whole character is the character that he created. You know, the Pee Wee character is just a very unusual. Is it a man? Is it a child?
Oh, right,
Like,
yeah.
is it just a very unusual character?
Right.
But I think
Yeah.
that's why it's so endearing to adults and kids.
Yeah.
Is because kids could relate to it and adults could relate to it.
Right, because he's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a weirdo, and it's like acceptance, and yeah, I mean, he turns out, he was a great humanitarian, and I believe he made sure he had a diverse cast at that time, which was very, rare, and so, I mean, unfortunately, when someone dies, that's when you find out all the really good things about them, and
Yeah, the cast was totally diverse. There was not a lot of
Yeah.
talking recliners getting work at that time.
Yeah.
And I did read something where Phil Hartman, Paul Rubens, and another guy, I can't remember his name, but they actually checked out a book on how to write like the perfect film. And their first script they ever wrote was Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
And that was also Burton's first film.
Right, because he was out of film school probably, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and Paul Rubin is a great story about how he came to hire Tim Burton. There's like a list of many directors, and he had to like kind of fight for him. There's a cool Comic-Con footage of him like really going into. He's like, it's a long story, but people went along for it anyway. And
I'm gonna call it right now. In the next 5 years, we are gonna have a Paul Rubens
biopic.
yeah,
Yeah.
focusing on that like creation of Pee Wee,
Yeah.
the rise, the fall, and the kind of the rise again. We're gonna
Right.
see it. It's gonna be.
Will he be adopted by a family and taught how to play football? And then
Oh, is that a segue? Is that a segue?
I just had
That is
a
a masterful segue.
I just saw a way in there. No, and I know we have other people we want to like pay respects to, but if we want to divert right now to that, obviously Blindside, that was a big film that came out years back. Starred Sandra Bullock and what's his face, Tim McGraw as what's the family name?
Tui.
They own like Taco Bell franchise, or a couple franchises or something like that. But
I gotta be honest, I don't really know.
I just remember Taco Bell, that was featured in the film. But obviously, Sandra Bullock, she won an Oscar for it. People were asking for her to give it back now because the real people, real life people, I guess that player said that they basically screwed him out of a lot of money.
Yeah, there might be some scrupulous going on.
He was made to sign something when he's like
Yeah.
just a kid, and
She shouldn't have won the Oscar anyway because
I thought.
I mean the movie was okay.
It was okay.
I
She
saw
wasn't
it
the
once.
best.
It's a
and
nice coaster.
I saw it once, and it was like right after Family Thanksgiving, Black
Yeah,
Friday.
it was
We went to
annoying.
the mall. We
Yeah.
watched the movie. Like it was like the 10:30
Yeah.
showing before shopping all night long.
Oh, cool.
And it was just a way to kill like 2 hours before
Yeah.
the overnight shopping spree. And so I only saw it the one time, and I was like, it's all right.
Yeah, I just thought she was obnoxious in it. I don't know. That's just how I took it. It was never up there like, oh, this is a great film. And especially at that time, they even talked about what was fictionalized. He already knew football. So that alone kind of was like, because there's a whole scene where she's like, you protect my boy and blah, 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 blah. And they're just like, I really don't like this.
Well,
and
they made him out to be just like some helpless,
kind of stupid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of like a Forrest Gump kind of guy, I guess. I don't
Right.
know, but
Right. And
You
their real life is a lot more, there's a lot more there. And he says he wasn't actually adopted by them. So I don't know at the time if they actually came forward with a lot of, admitting like, because I think we all kind of know now, like when you see a true story, it's not necessarily true. Like I think we used to really fall for it more. Like, there's characters in other movies that are like, amalgamation of like three people. And So I think we're kind of now used to like, this is a good movie. Like the Elvis movie that just came out. I haven't seen it, but I think that's kind of been stretched a little bit, fictionalized.
Yeah.
Obviously,
You got to make it dramatic.
The director, yeah,
entertaining.
Yeah, of course.
Oz.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, whenever it says based on a true story, I take that with a grain of salt. I mean, like Cocaine Bear, based on a true story.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I read the real story. It was going to actually be a topic for the show at the time, but we didn't get to it. We didn't get to recording, so it kind of was old news.
Yeah,
but I looked at the real story. It's not really interesting.
Yeah, but
they found the bear dead, and he's a
I think that The Blind Side was probably as much a true story as Cocaine Bear.
The only thing that's true is football.
Right.
It was in the South.
That Michael Orr is an actual person who played for the Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to ask for Bullock's Oscar back, that's ridiculous. That's art. It's separate, in my opinion. And even though I didn't like that art, that's ridiculous. No way. I mean, that's, So, I don't know. Any other thoughts you guys have on the matter? Or?
No, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Like, it's completely separate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Other people we've lost we'd like to talk about real quick.
Terry Funk is a wrestling legend.
There was a couple wrestlers recently, wasn't there?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Terry Funk just recently passed away. See, Iron Sheik was one we never really got to, but that was a while ago.
Yep.
Bray Wyatt, which is a surprising one. He was 36. Wow. Seemed to be in like very good health. Had some
that just broke yesterday,
disease.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't like suicide.
You said he was
or
36.
Like
yeah.
So young.
He had like it was, but it wasn't like the other ones you hear about with like drug abuse and stuff like that.
Right.
It was
brain damage, killed their families and all that. Crap. Yeah.
So, but that one was kind of shocking because it was kind of trying to make a big comeback and just got this like rare disease and dropped dead. What's that?
Was it COVID?
No, it wasn't COVID.
Okay. Too soon? There it is.
I love it. We're gonna run out of batteries to keep this up.
I know.
No, you can keep keep doing it. It was just a joke, but I'll buy the batteries. Okay, this is great. This is great.
We are not sponsored by
I'm not
Duracell.
going to stop making bad jokes. So
no. Hey,
batteries
I'm
fresh.
king of bad jokes, I think. But I mean, I'm the one that watches this back, and I'm like, Jesus, Josh.
See, at least you can watch it back because any of the ones that I'm on, I can't watch or listen to it back.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
Man.
So you definitely need an editor if you pick up the Toys for All Ages again and so on. Yes.
Yeah.
And your Halloween idea, which I don't want to give away, but
I want
to do it.
So last year, I had somebody who was a willing participant.
Do you want to share what that idea is, or you want to keep it secret?
No, we're going to keep it
okay, because it's going to happen.
under wraps. It is going to happen.
Yes.
I had a willing participant who was, he was willing to get drunk.
Yeah.
But that was it. And then he was like, "Oh, I got nothing else." And I'm like, "So what are we doing here?" So anyway, more to come.
I don't. Yeah, I would volunteer. I don't know anything. Like I could read one. I'm not going to give away what that is, but it's Halloween related. That's all you need to know. But definitely got to make it happen. I will help you make it happen if you need it.
It was funny. So we were like, this is probably just give it away here, but so we were camping a couple months ago, and we were sitting around the campfire like telling scary stories. And I told a scary story, and then I think my nephew told a scary story, and then my wife's sister starts to tell a scary story. She's like, "Oh, I got one. And as like first sentence out of her mouth, everyone was like, "That's a Twilight Zone episode."
That's a great idea.
It was like the first Twilight Zone episode at that. So
yeah,
that reminds me. I was looking at. I don't know how I got on it, but Amazing Stories. You remember that?
Yeah, the Steven Spielberg thing. Yeah.
I don't know what.
I never saw it, but I know what it is.
Yeah, there was a few of them I remember. There's a creepy one with Christopher Lloyd, but it had like a lot of guest stars and
I used to confuse it with. I actually confused that with Twilight Zone for a time when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's inspired by it quite a bit.
Didn't
I think.
Spielberg even direct a Twilight Zone? One of those
He produced, which we were talking about tragedies on set because Alec Baldwin's making headlines again. He's going to go back to court, but we were talking about
Vic Morrow.
Yes, the guy who his segment in the Twilight Zone movie is the bigot, right? Who goes back in time to like Nazi Germany or anyway. Yeah, that was a horrific incident, and they all got sued big time for that.
Yeah, and like I said, Landis was acquitted.
Yeah, but he was like forcing, like what happened was it was a helicopter hovering over for a shot, right? Or was it part of the landscape? I can't remember.
I don't think it was. I don't. Remember,
Okay,
I don't.
I think it was just
part
like
of the scene. I think it was
the camera.
Just there.
But Landis was like commanding it to go even lower, and ended up decapitating him. I think, and 2 kids, right?
Yeah, 2 kids died. He
fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
And he might have. I mean, I know he made movies after that, but the fact
who made movies after
Landis.
that?
I'm sorry.
Okay. I thought
No.
Vic did not make
No,
movies after
no.
that. Unfortunately,
I wouldn't do that. I can see how I made that happen, but Landis, he did like Coming to America after that, and I think Blues Brothers came out before the Twilight Zone movie, but I almost wonder if he was kind of blacklisted a little bit, like because he didn't really make a ton of movies after that. I don't think so. I know he did Beverly Hills Cop 3, which sucked.
Oh, I didn't know that he did that one.
He did that, yeah.
And that one was terrible.
They're like, they're like, we went to the action. We're gonna go back to the comedy, and it just wasn't there. But yeah,
that was a tragedy. And like I said too, when we were talking offline, I don't know if you ever saw the show Combat.
No.
All right. Do you remember when FX first became a thing, like a channel?
I remember it before it was that. It was like its own thing. Like they had like a building they broadcasted out of, and they showed old time shows.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, was
that was the original FX? It was still FX.
Okay, yep.
It was like the old Batman series,
I know what
Green
you're talking about.
Hornet,
Yep.
and they had a show, and this is where I found it. It was called Combat.
Okay.
It was like a black and white show, and it took place during World War II, about kind of soldiers and on the European front.
Yeah.
And it was so good, and Vic Morrow was one of the stars of that.
Okay, sure.
And so that's kind of where I first discovered him.
Yep.
Was a young 14-year-old me watching Combat right after Batman.
And he was in the Bad News Bears with Walter Matthau. He was like the coach that was against their team. And he is the father of Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Yep.
I learned that a couple years back. I was like, holy shit, because I think she was doing Fast Times maybe around and I've been before that, but still, what a mind fuck to lose your dad to such a horrific tragedy.
And then she went on to do Single White Female.
Yep. And what else did she do?
What sound is that?
That's the Single White Female fans. Bring it back. She's still alive.
See, these are those rabbit holes we go down. I don't know. What were we talking about?
We were talking about Blindside somehow.
But then we were talking about
wrestlers that
passed away.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we were talking about tragedy and all that.
Yes.
But here's something that's not hopefully tragic. This Halloween, General Mills, they released the traditional cereals we know, Frankenberry, Boo Berry,
they're not
Count
the same.
Chocula.
They're not as good as they used
They're
to.
not.
They all taste stale. The fuck is up with that?
Probably because
they made them years back.
They're on the shelf for a month and they taste stale.
They made them probably 20 years ago, but
it's probably the same. Yeah,
we got a new flavor. Carmella Creeper is the new flavor, and it's I'm not looking forward to this. It's caramel apple.
No, that sounds terrible.
But anyway, we got a new addition to the family.
Are the marshmallows caramel or the marshmallows apple? I'm confused.
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't do the research yet. I don't have the box yet. I don't know if I will get the box. I'll have my kids try it. They like to eat weird shit.
This is way more information than anybody wants to hear. But when I was a child, I ate an entire box of Boo Berry in one sitting, and I had purple shit.
I
still
speaking of weird foods, you remember when they did the I think it was like the Batman Whopper or like the Halloween
black bun,
the black
Whopper bun, oh yeah,
the major
I've seen a Blue Beetle one too. It's blue, unless it's fake.
There was a watermelon one. Was there with a spy with
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, but just recently there was a movie that came out and they did a watermelon. It was like a watermelon colored bun.
Oh, it wasn't from
Spider-Verse,
was it?
It was
Spider-Verse.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yep. So I was just wondering,
because I thought that was vaguely racist. I didn't really understand what.
Oh yeah,
was behind that. So I was like, I'm not eating that.
Maybe they got rid of it quickly. I don't know.
Yeah.
I did.
That would fuck up your shit.
I did fall down a rabbit hole today watching a video about the Moon character from McDonald's, the Mac Tonight.
Mac at Night.
That was played by Doug
Jones.
Yes.
I didn't know that until just today.
I have him on a jet ski. The figure. Remember the figure? You pull it back and it goes. I had him on a jet ski.
Speaking of
we had so much cool shit in the 80s.
But terrible fast food gimmicks.
Shit. Oh god, I miss it. I was at Pizza Hut the other day. See, these are rabbit holes. We go down, but they have Ninja Turtles. They're promoting the new movie, right? but it's only on the boxes. I did collect the boxes.
I would say you got the boxes right over your shoulder. I see them in the corner right now.
You know, how it was weird to ask some guy like, "Hey, do you have?" First, it was like, "Did you box mine up yet?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "Do you guys have a Leo box?" I felt like such an idiot, but I'm like, I have them all, and it's like in my head, I'm like, I got to collect them. I'm just cutting the fronts off. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with them, but. Christmas for you guys. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'll take Michelangelo then.
Okay, and it might have a little smell of cheese on the other side.
Perfect.
So yeah. But I was just asking the guy. I'm like, and I did this on Facebook under like Pizza Hut's page or whatever. Like, bring back the fun shit. Like, this is all we get. Yeah. Like. Yeah. Remember the igloo cooler things you could get in the past had Pizza Hut on it?
I'm still playing with my hand puppets from Land Before Time.
Yes,
some new toys. Pizza Hut.
The Phantom Menace when that came out, the cups they had, they're like, that was a huge deal, and those were worth a lot. But X-Men, that was the first time I was introduced to X-Men because you could get the tapes. You get pizza and you get a tape. And it had Stan Lee on it.
Like a cassette tape?
Yep.
Oh, all right.
VHS,
I never had any of a VHS tape.
Yep.
With a cartoon?
Yes, it was like
the
a couple episodes. Yeah,
first 4 episodes.
So
of
like
the
Night of the Sentinels.
Series. Yeah.
I had that on VHS.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about now.
And I still got them. I got them back from Joey. He had them. And he's like, I don't want this stuff. I'm like, I want it back.
Well, then what was good about those too? Before like they started doing the whole special features on the DVDs and all that, they opened it up with Stan Lee talking about how he came up with the characters.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And at the time, I had no idea who the hell he was. I was just like, okay, yeah. Get to the cartoon.
Who's this old guy talking about Iceman?
There's just fun shit when we were young. Like McDonald's would do the tape. They would release tapes, VHSs of like Wayne's World, and they had the cups. And it's like, God dang it, people don't know how good it used to be.
Hey, Starbucks has a Christmas album every year that they release. That's close.
It's all Michael Bublé or his cousin or something. I don't. Not to diss on Michael. I think he's great, but it's probably generic shit.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, pretty much. I know there's controversy about the cups years back. People, Jesus, they decided to put a snowflake instead on it, and people were like, "Oh, this is outrageous! I want my tree or some shit." You don't remember that? People were pissed off about the I know. We're doomed as a society, aren't we? Jesus.
Time for a reset.
But to get back to the cereal real quick, you might like this, probably won't, but they're also going to have a Monster Mash remix box, which has all the flavors.
All of the flavors?
Yeah.
All of the stale marshmallows?
Yes.
Nice.
And
I'm telling you, they probably made this stuff 30 years ago, and it's just like, we don't want to do it again. Like,
we've got to get the General Mills warehouse cleaned out over there.
We do have one over here, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably infested with rats.
They
Count Chocula, the little, Count Chocula marshmallows are actually rat turds.
That explains so much about the flavor.
And it turns your shit brown.
It does explain.
Wait, it already is brown. Never mind.
Not if you eat blueberry.
No, he did the
I will say the most disgusting cereal, like novelty cereal I ever tried, because my daughter loves Sour Patch Kids.
Oh yeah,
was Sour Patch Kids cereal.
Oh, I saw that. It looked terrible.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Is it sour?
Yeah.
Fucking eat sour cereal.
It makes the milk taste like it's spoiled.
Oh,
like it's
sour milk?
I took one bite of it. I was like, no.
Gross.
I was like, you can keep the box if you want, but this is disgusting.
Dude, growing up, I was a sucker for all those gimmicky cereals. It was like G.I. Joe, Action Star, or whatever.
The Batman cereal was like Captain Crunch,
cereal,
basically.
The
Nintendo cereal.
Mr. T cereal.
Yep.
The Nintendo Power cereal, or
the
whatever.
Ninja Turtles cereal, or it was like, basically just bland.
And now I see that stuff now, because they'll still come out with that stuff.
Yeah.
And I see it on the shelves now. I'm like, that just looks so terrible.
I know.
I stick to my Captain Crunch All Berries.
Well, if there's
my Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And
if there's any thought of buying it, you look at the price. You're like, no way, absolutely not. Because it's like what, $6 for a box of cereal now.
Yeah.
And my kids go through it like crazy. We'll get the giant boxes, and I get maybe a bowl out of that, if that.
This has been like a 15-minute rabbit hole on cereal.
I know. We're high. Anyway,
I'm getting hungry.
Yes, I know, right? I know we picked a bad time to do this. Gran Turismo is out finally. I thought it was out like a week ago because I went to see Blue Beetle.
Did it just come out this weekend then?
It just came. I thought it was out too, but I think there was an advanced screening. But
okay.
Wow, I really well, I got to say, when the preview first broke, when Neil Blomkamp's name came up, I was like, okay, this has got to be a little special.
Yeah,
I mean, this guy's done.
That's the guy that did the
District 9.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh God, I don't know what else, but he does some quirky films, and it's not your usual like nameless guy who's generic,
Yeah.
So I was like, there's got to be something special. David Harbour's in it. Obviously, sometimes you just need a check. So I'm like, well, I can't really depend on star power. Orlando Bloom, yeah, he needs something to do. Other than Katy Perry.
Oh,
and
he's bored. He's
Poor
bored.
guy.
Send her our way.
She keeps singing. No, but fuck you. And it's based on a true story, which I'm sure that's
Like
stretched
Cocaine
to
Bear
death.
and The Blind Side.
Yes, stretched to death. But yeah,
It's based on a true story in that there is a video game called Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
And people play it.
The whole concept behind it is like this kid that like played Gran Turismo,
right,
and then became a real race car driver.
a real race car driver.
Yeah. So it is. I mean, yeah. I'm sure how they get him trained is
I'm sure
fabricated.
it's just like
yeah.
in the movie.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But what do you guys think? Are you interested in seeing?
I
this?
want to see it.
It looks
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
see
grown
it.
on me.
The
It's grown on me.
visuals look pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, if nothing
Yeah.
else, the action, the visuals look
I'll see it for David Harbour.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for
Honestly.
sure. I love David Harbour.
I'll see it for Orlando Bloom.
You're the only one. No, I'm kidding. No, that looks,
Orlando Bloom's not shooting anybody with a freaking arrow in this.
well, we haven't seen it yet.
There you go.
Is that a Kingdom of
That's his
Heaven reference or a
That's his bank
Legolas.
account.
Legolas reference? Okay,
Legolas reference.
because he shot arrows in both.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true. Yeah. Physical release is coming out. The Flash, August 29th. That just released today, which is 25th on HBO Max. So
I'll watch that. I'll watch it again at some point.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously is like the biggest bomb of the
Now,
DC.
You guys probably talked about the movie in a previous.
No,
cast.
I don't think
We did
so much.
a review on it, I thought.
Maybe we did. I can't remember.
Did you? Okay.
I can't remember who did it.
Go ahead. Feel
Oh,
free to
no, I was
share
just
your.
saying-
I mean, it's fresh now again because it's out.
Yeah,
so
I
more
went
people
to
can see it.
simply for Michael Keaton as Batman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that didn't really disappoint. I liked
Yeah,
it.
right.
I mean, I Michael Keaton as Batman was awesome.
Sure.
He's still the best version of
Yes.
that character.
By far.
Yeah.
And I liked, there was a lot more humor in it than I was expecting. Like there was some times where I laughed out loud and I was not expecting that.
Right. Good and bad reasons.
No, mostly good. I mean, there was a couple of, like I said, there was a couple of cringy parts. Like, we could have cut out the whole first 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
The Wonder Woman cameo was awkward at best.
Right.
The whole Speed Force thing is still, I mean, it's murky.
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah. Well, and
They don't really do a good job. I mean, first of all, I think the concept behind it's ridiculous anyway. Thinking like, even in the comic books, I just
you weren't a big Flashpoint guy.
no,
Yeah.
no. And so trying to like portray that on a big screen for like mass audience, I just think it's kind of like falls a little short.
Yeah. Kind of ask a lot too.
I don't know how else you would.
Yeah.
I don't know how else you would explain it because it is what it is. But no, I liked it. I liked Zod coming back.
Yeah.
Michael Shannon was great. Was it Kara El? Is that Superman's cousin's name?
Yeah.
Supergirl?
Yep.
She was okay.
Yeah. I thought she was decent. Yeah.
CGI was muddy at times.
Which
like,
the director is like, yeah, it was supposed to be. But I'm like, I always go back to that commercial they did years back where you have this artist, you just see the back of the canvas,
Yeah.
and this artist is telling his like agent,
And
like,
really-
oh, this is all this, and there's nothing there.
The only time I didn't mind
Yeah.
the bad CGI was when he was kind of in that Speed Force. And the people were distorted. Like
Yeah, it was kind of
distorted.
artsy.
I liked that. And
Yeah,
even when
yeah.
you have like, and I chuckled when we saw like bad CGI Nicolas Cage in the black Superman costume.
Yeah, that
I kind of got a
was-
chuckle out of that.
Yeah, and in the
As soon as he was like fighting a spider, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, because I was like,
Obviously, we're giving stuff away, but I mean,
Oh, yeah, spoilers.
Who cares?
the
It's
movie's
fine.
been out for like 3 months.
It's fine.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
haven't
you
seen
should
it
have
yet.
saw it. It bombed because I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
and if you're gonna watch it for free now on Max, then who cares?
Right, or go buy it Tuesday. I might.
Yeah, if you want to buy it, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's a watcher, not a buyer.
Yeah, I know. It's I think if Keaton wasn't in it, maybe I would just like, nah, I'll just not get it. But
Yeah.
I like to see that, and all the special features. Maybe there's extended scenes and stuff, but yeah, there's one scene in the beginning that just takes me out of the whole movie. But that's my biggest complaint. And I'll just say baby geniuses. That's all I got to know probably about that. I don't want to give it away, but I was just like, what the fuck is this? We just
spoiled everything else, and you're like, I don't want to give away the scene about the babies.
Oh, shit. Babies? What babies? No. But yeah.
I liked... it was also one of those movies, too, where it's like, we don't need another Flash movie. Like,
we really don't.
We definitely don't need more of him.
And that was one of my biggest issues with the movies. I'm not an Ezra Miller fan.
No, I'm not.
By any means.
Especially not anymore. I'm not.
But a little less, I'm a little less spiteful towards him, I guess. I mean, for lack of a better word. Like his performance in that I thought was actually pretty decent.
Yeah, I think he did a good job.
And so I thought he did a good job. Yeah. I don't need to see another Flash movie or another Ezra Miller movie for that matter.
Right. Yeah. And I'm kind of, I don't want to be happy it bombed, but the director is like, yeah, I'll work with him again.
I'm like, how much money did it lose?
It only made $268 million worldwide. That's bad.
See, because
the budget was probably like $300 million because it was tabled for a bit because of COVID, and then they had to do reshoots, and Ezra had his court battles and shit. And so
do we think it lost money because it's an Ezra Miller movie? It's a DC movie. It was just way over budget.
I don't know either. It's weird. I think this summer we had a shit ton of films come out, and they are all big films. It seemed like anyway. Like Mission Impossible, I saw that one. I liked that a lot.
I liked
that. Got buried quickly.
I liked that.
Yeah, it got buried.
Well, yeah, because right after that, you've got Oppenheimer and Barbie a week later.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yep.
And I don't know about how Oppenheimer's performed, but Barbie's made $1 billion.
I think Oppenheimer's made maybe 700, which is great, but Nolan probably didn't have a huge budget. I don't think he did anyway, and either way he'll make more movies. I mean, I thought it was great, and I think award season it could clean up pretty good. Maybe some people.
I hope so.
Yeah,
because I think that was probably Nolan's best movie.
Yeah.
So
it was pretty solid. I don't know. Did you catch Oppenheimer at all?
I did.
Yeah,
I thought Oppenheimer was good.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, definitely had. It was tense.
It's one of those. It's one of those ones where like you have to see it in the theater to like really appreciate the whole scope of it.
Yeah,
but it's not like something that like, oh hey, I'm bored, I'm going to watch Oppenheimer.
No.
Oh, like what's his stupid face? Paul, Aaron Paul, the boxer or YouTube guy.
Oh,
Logan Paul, maybe.
Was it Logan Paul or
he was on some podcast. He's like, yeah, I left it.
Are you talking about Andrew Tate?
No.
Okay.
No, he's a big YouTuber. Logan Paul. He did UFC, didn't he, or something like that?
Never heard of this guy.
Yeah, well, he's just one of those YouTube guys. He was like, yeah, it's too much talking. I left, man. I was just checked out. I was just like, what the fuck, dude?
I'm going to call it right now. Cillian Murphy's getting a Best Actor nod.
Yeah.
Or he's getting nominated. And RDJ is getting Best Supporting Actor.
He was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
If they don't, I will be shocked.
He even said it's like the best film he's in. That, in his opinion, that's what he said.
Robert?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what we're on a first name basis. That's
right.
What
I know.
Yeah.
Tell him hi. And some stupid lady out there who needs attention. I mean, I guess we all need attention, right? We're doing this, but she was like trying to give tips on trying to avoid Florence's pubes. Florence's
pubes.
Florence's pubes.
Well, that too. No. Florence Pugh's
doesn't have a laugh track
nude scenes.
Well, close your eyes. A tip. Close your eyes.
Yeah, I think she was like some super Christian woman, and her husband was like, he just looked away in my arm. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, really? No. And then he goes home and watches porn. Shut the fuck up.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Shut up, woman.
I didn't care. I was okay with the scenes. I was all right. Especially, it was weird to see giant nipples on IMAX screen. I'll just say that. I mean, there's just a close up, and you're just like, this is on IMAX. This is an 80-foot screen. This is a first.
Good thing it wasn't in 3D.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
Like, ow. Oh god.
He'd be handing out aspirin as you leave. Like, oh, thank you. No, but oh my god, we're doomed as a culture. I mean, really, that was one of the complaints. Like, oh, that was just not right to show all that nudity. I'm like,
all right,
please.
I'm fine.
Yeah, remind me to send her a copy of I Spit on Your Grave, the original.
Yes.
Well, if you're going to complain about anything, maybe complain about the bomb. That's kind of like the thing that did the most damage.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, I liked that film. I will definitely buy that one when it comes out. But yeah, I think award season it'll do pretty well. And yeah, it's I think it's made back its money, so it's fine. And Barbie's still climbing, so I really hope. I did see Barbie. It's all right, and some of it it was kind of over the top of the preaching, I thought, in some spots, but I gave it a pass because the whole toy itself is kind of that representation. But I know the studios are going to make more of these stupid films probably.
Yeah. So
this one should not be made. There should not be a sequel, in my opinion, to it.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
My family saw it.
Yeah.
They were, they thought it was okay.
Yeah.
What I was hoping for is did you guys ever watch the kind of the CGI Barbie Life in the Dream House?
Yeah, kind of.
So I really enjoyed that show. The humor was really well done. It was very clever.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They kind of made fun of Barbie having all these different jobs and careers. And I was hoping for something like that.
That was like a camera, hidden camera show or something, or like a reality show.
Filmed
right?
kind of like
not filmed that.
Yeah, it was like CGI.
I thought it was kind of unique.
But yeah, it was like that.
I think the movie was kind of like just unique on its own, and I don't think you can replicate it. And I think it'll just ruin it if you try. So I'm sure they're not going to listen to me, but they'll just they want money. I'm sure they're gonna push for that $2 billion. How all these comic book movies have done. Like, oh yeah, we made it $1 billion once, and we got to just put more money in these films, and then they bomb, and it's like, we're gonna cancel our ideas, about going forward. It's such a stupid strategy.
It doesn't help too that with the superhero genre itself. It's become oversaturated in the marketplace.
It really has.
You've got other movies that. I'm going to call it right now. Is it Marvels? Is that what it's called?
The Marvels.
That's going to bomb.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. They already had the Happy Meal toys, too. Yeah. It was like, wait, this isn't coming out for 3 more months.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm not... the Disney Plus series of Ms. Marvel was okay.
Yeah.
But, my God... Kamala Khan's somebody I can take in small doses, and I don't really think she needs an entire movie.
Her screaming at the cat.
Now,
I'm like,
how was Secret Invasion? How's that for a segue?
Here comes a rant.
Because that's next on your list of talking points.
Oh, yes. Thank you for that.
First 5 episodes were okay.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a... you were kind of like, okay, where are they going to go with this? I want to see more. And then the 6th episode was just like, fuck it. Let's just throw everything at the wall and see if it sticks.
It was a toy box moment.
It
was.
And
God, I want to give it away, but I don't know if you care. Jonah. You probably don't care.
Okay,
you?
I like the.
I don't care. I haven't seen it. I'll probably watch it at some point. I'm still.
Amelia
I still got
Clarke
that fatigue.
Is the most powerful woman in the Marvel universe.
All right,
now.
Amelia Clarke is that the?
She's
girl
got
from
everybody's
Game of Thrones?
powers.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
I don't care if I'm
spoiling. Is she a Skrull or is she a Kree or
she's a Skrull?
Okay,
yeah,
but so basically the concept of it is they're trying to make the Super Skrulls.
Sure.
Right?
Which we need for the Fantastic Four to fight.
Right.
Super Shredder.
But instead of making it smart, the main bad guy, they did it smart with him. They gave him the powers of Obsidian, Cull Obsidian, Groot, Frost Giant, and somebody else, I thought.
It was the Extremist too, right?
The Extremist, yeah.
Yep.
Which was okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But then Nick Fury's got this vial with all of the
Super
Avengers
jizz.
DNA in it.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course, because
first of all, who of those Avengers are going to give their DNA to Nick Fury?
Well, they had
it was from
went in and got the samples.
It was from the battlefield after fighting Thanos.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
They
They're
picked
this blood
up all
belongs
this-
to Captain America.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Which okay, cool. But then they put it in this machine, and basically 2 of the Skrulls get everybody's powers, which is stupid. And then basically they didn't even use 90% of the powers. They just used Captain Marvel's powers.
They used all the ones that are fresh right now. Drax, she had a Drax arm for a minute there, and I'm like, Drax is strong. The tattoos are also his power. What the fuck is this?
It just turned it looked like somebody took a bunch of action figures and pulled the arms and legs off.
Left them out in the heat
slapped
like
them,
we have right now.
Slapped them all together.
Yeah.
But it was
like a one-up. People have explained it that way, too. Like, when kids are playing, like, well, I got this power. Oh, yeah? Well, this one's got all the powers. That's exactly what it was. It was so stupid. And why did he bring her? Well, he thought it was Fury. Why did he bring him into that chamber when that got put in the air for him to, or whatever the fuck? You know what I mean? Because they both got the powers. Yeah. What was the point? I mean, I know you're lost.
All right, no, but my take.
We're saving you much time.
What I'm gathering from it is it's really nothing like the Secret Invasion story.
And I never read it. But
no, it's not.
All right, and I don't know why they didn't go that route, because that's more Nick Fury's wheelhouse. Like, as a character, and even Samuel L. Jackson portraying that character.
Yeah.
Because think of like how good Winter Soldier was.
Yeah.
Because of that aspect of it.
It's like the peak of that.
Yeah.
Whole Nick Fury.
So they really should have gone that direction instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the whole who do you trust thing is a really cool concept, but yeah.
He's Sergeant Murtaugh from Lethal Weapon in this whole series. I'm too old for this shit is what he puts out there.
Well, and he's traumatized from the whole snap thing and
which
all that, which doesn't really make much sense because Florence Pugh came back and she was like, "Oh, okay, I'm back. Cool, let's do shit."
Right. They didn't really get into that, and also Rhodey's a Skrull. The guy in the show, I mean, Don Cheadle was playing a Skrull, whatever. But the director's trying to say, "Oh, he's been a Skrull since Civil War," and I'm like, "Fuck you." No, he hasn't, because Endgame, you take away that, like, remember when he?
So were they saying it's the Skrull that fell and busted up his back?
No, they're saying after that.
After that,
he got replaced.
Rhodey got hit, like the Skrull came in and replaced him, and
so stupid.
Okay, yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah,
no, there's no way, especially when he yells like Canopy when he gets out of his suit in an emergency in Endgame because he can't walk.
Yeah.
And it's like no Skrull would like dedicate that much into it, you know. Yeah, I was with the whole show until that last episode. And it just kind of wrapped up quickly too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like this could have just been a movie. Should have just made it a damn movie and just took out all this like extra shit, you know, this pacing and stuff. But yeah, it's like
I don't know what what Disney Plus gains from
they just being Nick Fury. That's basically
it being like a 6-episode series versus it being like a hour and a half long, you know, like one shot kind of thing.
Yeah, I just feel like they choose the wrong shows,
wrong format for that show,
or the wrong story for, you know, like Hawkeye easily could have been like an hour and a half movie. I think like last year the whole Hawkeye thing, because it just would have cut out so many things that just took you out of it, you know.
Yeah,
and it would have just been a lot more compact and I think easy to. I don't know. I don't understand. We got another season of Loki coming, so I'm just really. I think WandaVision's still up there for me as my favorite, and not to say it was perfect. Mm-hmm. That kind of felt rushed at the end a little bit, but I thought there was a lot of artistry in that show. I just kind of dug how they were resembling old, like 50s, 60s sitcom. And
it was pretty clever.
Yeah, I thought that was really unique, and they actually made her the Scarlet Witch. Like she already had that ability before the serum or whatever, or the trials they tried on him, so that was really cool. But yeah, the whole you know, the whole DNA thing it's just stupid. You know what I mean? The big moment, you're like, okay, finally. You're just waiting for Fury to like become Fury again, and you know it builds and builds and builds, and then basically he puts his leather jacket on. That's it.
Yeah,
it's supposed to change things, but it did not.
It didn't really resolve anything,
and he's just fucking old. I mean, he's in his 70s in real life, so I give him a pass. But it's like, what is this?
And his whole so the whole concept of this, right, is he's up in like the space station with the Skrulls or whatever, and trying to find them a new world. Well, there's like millions of Skrulls already on Earth.
Even more than he thought, right?
Even more than he thought, because they,
Is Ben Mendelsohn in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, at the end of it, like, none of that gets resolved. The Skrulls are still on Earth. He fucks off back to space with his Skrull wife.
Yeah.
And
it's just...
Yeah.
All right, who do you think he has her shapeshift into?
Well, they show it. I mean,
she can shape shift into anybody.
Oh.
Well, yeah.
So who's he asking
with
to
enough
become?
with enough practice?
Doesn't she chose someone, and
she chose like
there's a mystery until the end of the show.
I know where you're going with this, and I think
What superhero does he have her become?
probably has her turn into Carol Danvers a couple times. I don't know. That or I don't know. Maybe Lizzo. I don't know. The Thing. Yeah. Hulk.
So I will.
She-Hulk.
I'm sure I'll watch it at some point, but I'm not in any big hurry to.
Yeah.
No, you're.
I'm gonna finish Suits first.
There is stuff there, but again, if you condense it, I think you can get something. Except for that last episode, I don't think you can fix that. That's bad.
It's almost like they listen to the feedback of like these 6-part series, right?
Yeah.
1 through 5 is jack shit. There's nothing going on.
Yeah.
And then 6 is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, they did the reverse with this, like where 1 through 5 is awesome and 6 is jack shit.
Right. Yep.
So
yeah. You're just waiting for him to like come back, and be the Fury we kind of knew of and the badass, but it never happens. And it's just like it's like if you saw Logan and he never does shit, like really doesn't do anything. No, there's no action. I mean, really, there's nothing, and it's just it just made a big mess out of things, I think, and it really makes him and Carol Danvers look like a huge dick and just failures. Because
Carol Danvers is a huge dick. I never liked that character.
Yeah,
no.
Well, but they couldn't find them a world for like 30 years. It's like, what the fuck you been doing? Like, I know you're gone for the 5. Well, actually, she wasn't gone for 5 years, but people pointing this out. Guardians Galaxy, you see all these other worlds. You mean to tell me that she hasn't found any place for these people to live?
Yeah.
It's just like kind of unforgivable. Like, like how do you walk away from that? How do you
Right.
And it's a huge threat now because they're all over the planet.
They should have ended Guardians of the Galaxy 3 after they defeat the High Evolutionary. They should have just brought all the scrolls to that world.
Yeah.
So.
Right. I know. It's just there's just more questions, and it's because all these creators, they're not trying to be on the same page, I believe, and they're trying to retcon things like, oh yeah, Rhodey was not in Endgame. Like, fuck you.
If you think about it, it's not really any different than the comic book series.
I guess so.
Because you always have like different writers with different visions, and then what happens is then they do this one big event where they bring everybody together, and you got to retcon a bunch of shit because no one was on the same page the entire time.
Right.
So it's like that. Right. And comic books suck now. I'm just saying, comic books these days are terrible.
That's what I've heard. So Bradley Cooper, he's got this movie coming out called Maestro, and he plays Leonard Bernstein, who's a
Jewish composer.
Yes, he composed West Side Story.
Yeah.
And of course, it's going back to that what people were trying to like if a straight guy plays or a straight woman plays a lesbian, gay, like that. A lot of people were like that should be authentic. It should actually be a gay actor or lesbian actor, whatever. He's got a prosthetic nose in it. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's Semitism."
It's a little.
But the real guy, it's a big nose. But the guy in real life, that's what he had. And Cooper consulted with the family throughout the whole, the working on this film. And I think it's bullshit to just be like. I mean, it's like people didn't even look at the teaser trailer that they released. I thought it looked really good and beautiful, and I think it's a cool story. And I think he could get an Oscar. I don't know, but. That was not the problem, in my opinion. I just think that's ridiculous. Like, where you can kind of fight people on it is like, okay, so do you want serial killers to be played by actual serial killers? Like,
right?
Come on.
I mean, no one gave Charlize Theron shit when she got all ugly for Monster.
Right. Yeah. And she won an Oscar for it.
Yeah.
And Nicole Kidman, she put a prosthetic nose on and she won an Oscar. So it's like the thing to do.
Prosthetic nose on?
I forgot what it was called, but it was like Meryl Streep was in it with her, and I think she won an Oscar for it. But yeah, it's like Gary Oldman. He won for playing Churchill. What was that movie called?
I think it was called.
Was it called? Was it?
I don't know. I know. No. Our Darkest Hour?
Yes.
Yeah. Our Darkest Hour? Yeah.
But it's like, if you want a product to be, to gather attention, you have to have big actors in it. And I
actually think I would rather that they make him look as close to the person as possible. Yeah. Because one of the things that actually kind of took me out of Oppenheimer a little bit is Matt Damon
Oh yeah, the real guy was like
The real guy was massive,
big guy,
and he had a huge ass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And Matt Damon does not have a huge ass.
he's
And so
built, man.
I would have liked to have seen him in
he's
some
like
sort
Jason
of like
Bourne in that movie.
I would have liked to have seen him in
Mustache.
some sort of like, lower half fat suit.
Yeah.
To show kind of how big this person was.
And that's a choice, obviously.
Yeah, but and so that's and it was
Right.
a choice probably by I don't know if it was Damon who made that choice or the director said, hey,
right.
your acting alone is going to portray who this character is. We
Right.
don't need you to like
Right.
visually look like
No
them to a T.
fatties in this film.
But that was like
Coming out
watching
funny
it,
fatties.
watching it
Oh
and
my
knowing
gosh.
what that guy looked like, and just because
Yeah.
that was he was such an imposing person,
Right.
partly because of his size.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, it's a little disappointing. I want to see Fat Damon.
Fat Damon.
I don't think has he ever gained weight for a part? I know he's lost a lot of weight.
So, and Fat Damon is actually the nickname. Hold on, it's actually the nickname I cruelly give to the guy that looks kind of like Matt Damon.
Oh, he's
From,
lost
like,
weight recently,
he
but I know what
has.
you're talking about. Yeah,
from
yeah,
like Game
yeah.
Night and Fargo.
Mr. Dunst. He's
Yeah.
married to Kristen. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck's his name?
And I don't mean to call him-
He's like discount Matt Damon. They call him or
Yeah,
something, right?
Wish.com Matt Damon.
Oh gosh.
But I can't even say that because he's a really good actor.
No, he is,
and I really
yeah.
like to watch
Yeah,
him.
he
But
is.
whenever I see him, I'm just like,
Yeah,
it's Matt Damon on a bad day.
Matt Damon. Yeah,
Matt
no, that
Damon.
is kind of funny. Yeah, well, I'm sure. That guy's looking down like, yeah, I'm glad you got Matt Damon to play me. Thank you. Because it's
Yeah.
like totally different. Yeah, you got the mustache right. That's probably about it. But
Yep.
yeah, yeah. Moving into trailers.
All right.
The Continental. Go for it. Whoever wants to start.
Oh, I think it looks amazing.
Do you?
Yeah, young.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Young. Oh, well, I almost said young Ian McShane because I'm a huge Ian McShane fan.
Oh
You
yeah.
think he channels him pretty
I think
well?
he does a pretty good job of channeling
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
It's not terrible.
But yeah, so young Winston.
Yep.
I think it looks really good. And Mel Gibson as the bad guy is going to be so good.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm stoked for this one. It's a 3-episode series.
I like that part. That's
I do
like British
too.
shit right
because
there.
they're not going to be able to draw it out. I mean, it's going to be quick, concise.
Is it one and
storytelling.
done? Do we know? I mean, I did some research, but I couldn't.
I think
confirm
they're
that
probably
or
going
not.
to try and tell a complete story in those 3 episodes.
That's what Marvel should do. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? Like, each episode's probably an hour, maybe an hour
Yep.
and a half. Like, the Sherlock series was. A lot of BBC shows are, and if it's successful, they give you more.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just hope it doesn't. With 3 episodes, I don't think it will fall in that trope where, when you do a prequel story, you have to bring everybody in like Star Wars did. Like, we need all the. It's like, no, we didn't meet these fuckers till episode 4.
Yeah.
Why we seeing these people?
Yeah.
I don't want a little John Wick kid to come to the hotel either. Like, fuck that shit.
No, I don't know.
He just-
The
Yeah, I don't know that
kid,
you're going
like
to have a young John Wick coming
three-piece
through
suit.
there.
He's got like one of those hats and a big lollipop.
And if they do, you might have some young Russian kid walking through the hotel
yeah,
and leave it up to your imagination as to who that is.
right,
Yeah.
right, yeah. Well, and this is the first time his character meets Lance. Oh God, what's
Lance Reddick.
Yeah, what's his character's name in the Wick franchise? I think we're meeting a younger version of him. Too.
Okay.
I think.
It looks like it
I
could
think
be.
he's Gibson's right hand, and he obviously will become his
Okay.
right hand. So,
All right.
But yeah, it's set in the '70s New York. It's very stylish.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, Peacock in September. So
It looks like so. Is it the same car that John Wick has in the first movie that
I hope not.
Winston has?
That would be
in
so
this
on
one?
the
'Cause
nose.
It looks like the same car.
yeah, they
I
have
mean,
the
it's a
same
black
taste.
Mustang or whatever.
Well, did we ever get a sense that Winston kind of raised him in a way or some
No.
shit? Okay,
I never really got that.
yeah.
No.
Hopefully, it won't end up being like John Wick took all the cool shit from Winston. Winston had all the, the
Yeah.
cars and the look and stuff.
Like
and
Winston was the Lucius Fox.
yeah,
To,
kind of like how they
his
make
Batman.
Alfred a badass now in the Batman lore. He was he was an agent.
Yeah, he was like
Yeah,
Her
he wasn't
Majesty's
just a
Secret
butler.
Service or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
MI6.
Right. No, yeah, I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
This is gonna win some Oscars. Slotherhouse.
Slotherhouse?
Yeah, Slotherhouse. Yeah,
Yeah, that's gonna win so many Oscars.
this was your
yeah.
baby, so you talk
So,
about
well, it's
it.
not my. I mean,
No, I know.
I saw the movie poster on like when I was like going through like scrolling through trailers,
Did you were you like, is this real?
and I was like, this looks fucking amazing. I was like, if this is about a killer sloth, this is gonna be fantastic. And like the first scene of the trailer, I was like, oh, it's about a killer sloth. So I had to watch the trailer a few times. I love goofy shit like that. When I was in high school, I worked at a video store.
Oh, sweet.
I don't know if it was called Showtime Video in Windsor Heights.
Yeah, I remember
Nice.
Showtime.
It had and I would just take home a slew of movies to watch with my friends or whatever. And it was always like cheesy, terrible horror movies for the most part. We would have like marathon all night long, 3 or 4 terrible horror movies. And this looks like one of those movies I would have rented as a kid.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one I'll catch like on streaming or something. I won't see it on the big screen.
No,
but
the fact that if it even comes to the big screen.
I mean, it was made for like $5. Like
I'll be shocked.
I said before.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that clown movie that came out last year. Remember
The
that
Terrifier?
one? Yes.
The sequel.
Yes.
Which was actually really good, I heard.
Was it?
It was.
I've heard. I haven't seen it.
Heard it was like grotesque as hell, but yeah. So yeah, it'll probably be something like that. But yeah, I'm sure it'll make its money back. I'm sure it's a low budget. I didn't look up the budget, but I'm sure it's very low. So
Yeah, I'm sure it probably wasn't a big budget movie, but it looks like a fun. I mean,
it was a 48-hour
I
film
love slasher
project.
flicks.
yeah.
I love terrible horror movies.
Yeah.
I love. I'm not saying it's not an anthropomorphic animal because it is. I think it's supposed to be just a sloth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
They ate a bunch of blueberry.
but I love monster movies about.
fast.
I love monster movies about animals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got
like, you want me to watch a movie?
It's too
I don't
late.
want
It's too late.
I don't want to.
No.
It's
I'm
okay.
saying
You know what? I'll put my own applause in there.
I
Yeah,
will.
okay.
I'm definitely looking forward to checking it out.
Although Cocaine Bear is on Prime now, I'm going to check that out.
You haven't seen that yet?
No, I have not.
Oh,
I really dig that movie.
Yeah.
it's a good movie.
But it's weird. I think we talked about it where it's like it doesn't know if it wants to be funny or scary, and so it's kind of a mishmash.
The tone's all over the place, basically, right?
Like tonally, it's tone deaf.
Yep.
But that said, I still really like it.
Right.
Yeah.
And they gave away like a lot of deaths, I thought, in the preview. The most badass scene I thought was the ambulance scene, just from the preview. So
It's pretty badass, and I mean that's a fun scene.
When it, like,
the
leaps.
whole scene is fun, and
Yeah.
and there's more to it than
Yeah.
what you see in the preview. That
Sweet.
makes it really fun.
I'll check that out
Yeah.
for sure. Rebel Moon. This is Zack Snyder's own Star Wars.
Not going to be as good as Slotherhouse, but whatever.
But let's hope this makes more than that. Although I don't think it'll probably be in theaters at select cities or whatever. It's a Netflix show, 2 parts. This is basically what Snyder pitched to Lucasfilm before they were bought out by Disney, and that got shelved. So yeah, it's very. I would say it's very Star Wars-esque.
Yeah,
and it's got
I'd agree.
It's got
almost-
medievalism in it.
I was gonna say because it almost looks like a mishmash of like you got some Star Wars.
Yep.
I got a little bit of a Dune vibe from the trailer.
Yes, Blade Runner. There's a shot. There's
Blade
like
Runner,
It's pretty
even
badass.
Avatar with
Yeah.
like some animal thing kind of hanging out like a griffin or
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
And so it's
How to
almost
Train
like
a Dragon, kind of.
it's almost like a mishmash of like different
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
And my biggest concern with it is that it's Zack Snyder.
yeah.
I'm not a fan of his stuff.
When did you lose? When did Snyder lose you?
So that's a good question because I really liked like 300. I thought was good.
Mm-hmm.
I never did see what was the one with the schoolgirls in the insane asylum.
Oh, that was like his own idea. It was Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch. I never
that's
saw
it,
that.
Visually looked cool.
Yeah. What else is even?
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead. He did do Dawn of
Was
the
it
Dead.
Dawn of the Dead?
Yeah, he
Okay.
did Dawn of the Dead,
Yeah,
and that
there's
was
so many
that
of
was
them,
his
so-
first one though. I think.
Yeah, and that one was
solid.
That was a remake where like people were like, "Oh, you're gonna fuck this up," and he
Yeah,
did.
no, I
Watchmen.
really. In fact, I just watched that movie like a week ago.
Yeah.
So really like that
Still
one.
holds up pretty well.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I liked 300. I liked.
Watchmen.
I liked Watchmen.
Yep.
I had some issues with the ending.
All the cuts they did of it.
They kind of. I didn't like the ending.
Oh, because there's no octopus, right?
Yeah, there was no Cthulhu, and I understand that
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have translated very well for like
Yeah.
an audience in a movie theater. They'd be like, "What the fuck is this
It's
now?"
gotta be real.
Right.
You gotta
Yeah,
keep it real.
and so
Yeah,
the explosion I think made more sense.
right.
I don't know where he lost me.
He did like an owl movie.
I have to
and,
say it was probably something like Man of Steel.
really. So that first Superman, he didn't dig too much.
No, I don't. He started washing out all the colors.
Okay. Yeah.
Where it's almost like he's making black and white films that shouldn't be black and white films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and I didn't care for the storyline anyway. And so he kind of lost me that. And then he doubled down with like, which I still haven't even watched it, but like the Batman v Superman.
Do the extended cut.
Well, you keep saying that, and I keep saying I will do that, and I just don't know.
You'll
when
like them better than the
that's-
alternative. Let's just
That's
say
gonna happen.
because yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly where he lost me. It was somewhere between like Watchmen and Man of Steel.
He's got great taste. Like I think, like behind the scenes, I got to see all of Batman's weapons in BVS. There was so much showcase behind the scenes, like in detail.
Yeah.
Like his handles on his guns had wood on them, but you don't see that shit when he drowns it out in his filters he uses, right? Like the Batmobile didn't feel real because it just didn't. It just kind of but I do like his films. But yeah, I would have definitely of that color more.
I'm looking at his filmography. I like 3 of his films.
Out of how many?
He's only got like 7 on here.
Okay.
Or he's got 10 on here.
Okay.
And I like the first 3. So
cool. Well, I mean, you know what? I think he definitely. It's a good thing. It's not. I mean, yeah, it'll be compared to Star Wars, I'm sure, but at least it's not part of the Star Wars universe, because you'd have fans like probably going ape shit, like, oh, this is outrageous. And I do see a lot of cool visuals in this. We'll see. You know, it's a 2-parter. It's got Sofia Boutella. She was in Kingsman, Star Trek Beyond. Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Anarchy, The Gentleman, and then Carrie Elwes played
he was Jonah in Twister.
The evil storm chaser.
That's his,
and Princess Bride.
That's what he's known for.
Princess Bride is Wesley,
just
right?
Twister.
Yeah,
just Twister.
Andy's.
You go to a con, and he's got like all these Wesley drawings, and you're just like, "Where's the Twister, man?"
Yeah.
Let's see who else it's got. Jenna Malone, she was in Contact. She's done other films. Anthony Hopkins. It felt like Thor. The narration of Anthony Hopkins in the trailer. I was like, oh, we're back at Thor.
Yeah,
I've seen this. I've heard this before.
But he's like a robot, like an android or something like that.
I don't know. I didn't pick up
Hopkins.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, it was.
So he's like voicing this. Like,
I'm not sure.
Like I said, I kept confusing this with the creator.
Oh yeah,
like like I'd see a trailer and I'd be like, oh, it's Sailor Moon,
right?
Or what's the name of this movie we're talking about?
Rebel Moon.
Rebel Moon. Sailor Moon is different.
Blue Moon.
No,
yeah. Corey Stoll from Ant-Man is in it. Jaimin Hunsu, Guardians of the Galaxy, Shazam, Amistad. He's getting like so much work. He's even in Gran Turismo. Plays the father of the kid.
Yep.
I'm really happy. Like his career seems to be. I don't know if it ever was dead. Like he did Blood Diamond with DiCaprio.
He was really good in Blood Diamond.
Yeah,
I don't think he's ever had a point.
No,
in his
he's
career
been pretty solid,
dead.
but he's never been like a mainstream.
He's never been like top build necessarily. He's been like second or third.
Yep. Maybe Amistad was probably his highest billing, but he was the Wizard in Shazam and Black Adam. Ray Fisher, who was Cyborg, he's playing a character called Blood Axe. Like I said, this is 2 parts. Part 1 is A Child of Fire. That drops December 22nd. And Part 2 is The Scargiver, April 19th, 2024 on Netflix. So, yeah.
I'll check him out. I'll watch him.
I'll check it out.
And hey, maybe when I'll watch him, we'll talk about it. I'll be like, hey, I'm a Zack Snyder fan again.
There you go.
I'm always open-minded. So
then we get the DC films he's done, and you're like, hi, I'm not anymore.
Yeah.
Took me out of it, man. Five Nights at Freddy. You guys heard of this film?
Oh, God.
Oh, I'm so stoked.
This looks so good.
It's like an evil showbiz pizza. Like, well, I'm not familiar with Five Nights at Freddy too much. What was it? Was it actual real?
It's a video game.
So that's where it started.
It is a video game.
It never was a real like showbiz pizza Chuck E. Cheese thing. Okay.
No, it was a video game that took place in a showbiz pizza type establishment where you're basically like looking at security cameras.
Okay.
And you'll see like things move in the hallway or whatever.
Cool.
And I can tell you, so I played the game, or I have the game on like my PS4 VR.
Oh,
like playing that in the dark scares the shit out of you.
Oh yeah,
like, the game is scary for being like essentially a kid's game because my son loves it.
Yeah.
And then it's spun off. They've got action figures, they've got books, they've got comics or graphic novels. I've actually got I've got like all of the young adult novels that I'm actually going to read before the movie comes out so that I can get like super amped for it.
Nice. This is like it's not like it's an adaptation of the first game, probably, right? It's not like a sequel to anything.
That's what it kind of looks like, yeah.
Correct. And this looks like it's a pretty faithful adaptation to the game itself.
I would say so, yeah.
It looks expensive without being expensive. I'm sure the budget's really, but I mean, like all the animatronics, all that looks great.
Yeah, it looks like what Willy's Wonderland wanted to be.
Oh, sure, because it's very similar in look.
Because I when that came out, I was like,
oh
shit, it's like they're beating Five Nights at Freddy to the punch.
Yeah,
right.
But then it was a much different type of. It was nothing like what Five Nights at Freddy is.
Right.
And this looks like it kind of captures the soul of the concept, and I love the concept. I've got a lot of fond memories of secondhand smoke in the Showbiz Pizza showroom.
That was the place for me. I never was Chuck E. Cheese. And what's funny is I don't know how I went down this rabbit hole. I know we've done a lot of rabbit holes today, but that's what we do. That's what we do here.
You should change the name of the podcast
to what?
Rabbit Hole.
Rabbit Hole. No, but Showbiz actually succeeded Chuck E. Cheese. But they bought the rights to Chuck E. Cheese, or they bought out Chuck E. Cheese, but it was the animatronics people who left, I believe, and so it was more affordable, and it was basically the only people they could get to fix the animatronics to just adapt it to the Chuck E. Cheese ones. So so they changed. They actually succeeded Chuck E. Cheese, but they had to take the name for various reasons, and they actually released a manual for the employees to like strip off the robots and like put the new skins on them, and it's like so grotesque looking. So like I said, I remember as a kid hanging out at Showbiz Pizza, and like I don't know if it's just my memory, but it was dark, it was smoky, it was a little scary. Was it the one up here by me?
Yeah.
Was that the only one we had?
Yeah.
That's the one I ever went
the
to.
animatronics were a little...
It was a room.
It was roomed off. It was all walled off. Now it's all opened up, right?
Yep.
But it used to be a separate room.
Yeah, it was like a nightclub.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was a little creepy in there. And the animatronics were... I mean, animatronics, shit like that's just kind of creepy anyway.
Yeah.
Like, the other ones that always creeped me out, too. So when I was a kid, the amusement park, Adventureland. Okay. When you walk in the main gates, right now, it's a carousel. It used to be a stage that was enclosed and would open up, and you would have these animatronic creatures like play music.
Right.
Like welcome you into the park. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't, but...
It was like there was like a dog.
The dog was the main, was like kind of the lead.
Kind of remember.
Like, and so... I remember like hanging out in there or being there sometimes. Like after hours or whatever. Because I hung out there a lot. And I remember being in that room, and those things are off, but fuck, they feel alive, and it is so unsettling to be around those things, even when they're not doing anything. And so that I think is why like this concept hits so close to home for me, is because it scared the shit out of me as a kid. Like I know they're not real, and I know they can't hurt me, but I
remember that now when I had my birthday parties, or I went to birthday parties. I think it was always comforting to have like a bunch of kids with you, so you'd all be like, it's okay, because when they're dead,
imagine
like
being
creepy,
there alone in the dark,
like a security guard, like in this film,
like a security guard.
Fucking way, no way, no. And you got Matthew Lillard from Scream, Scooby Doo, Hackers, Josh Hutcherson from Hunger Games, Mary Stuart Masterson. She was in Weeds, Reds, and or is it Red with Bruce Willis?
Red. Yeah.
I'm counting the sequel. Reds. It was the Reds. Triquel, whatever you call it.
Sucked.
Yeah,
I never saw the sequel. The first one's decent.
The first one is good. That's
kind of a rehash, but the first one's really good. Fried Green Tomatoes. That should add a trilogy, right? No, I'm kidding.
I never saw Fried Green Tomatoes.
You never did?
No.
What? Oh, you got to see that one. That's good. That's good. One of the writers, Scott
Cawthon.
Yes,
he's the creator of the video game series.
Yep.
So that's comforting that he's involved.
I'm glad that he's involved with it.
Yeah, I think that shows. I mean, it's just one more thing that reassures me it's going to be relatively close to the source material.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yep. So, and there's really no reason for them to even deviate from anything, because it's not like. I'm just trying to think of other examples where like you've had like a creator involved, but it's still deviated really far from the source material for like one reason or another.
Yeah. Well,
either the studio stepping in or something like that. But you don't have any of that in a movie like this with this type of a studio.
Well, there's nothing like with Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
There was back in like the 90s, there was no story to it.
Yeah.
So they had to like kind of pull one out of their ass. This one, there's like so much story to draw off of.
Yes.
And to have the guy that actually wrote that stuff be involved in it. That's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks good. It's gonna be in theaters and on Peacock October 27th. So I'll give it a shot.
I know my daughter's excited for it. She keeps asking me, when is it coming out?
Is it rated R?
What's today?
It probably is, isn't it? I'm trying to remember the trailer. Like,
no, it's
thought it's
PG-13.
PG-13.
It's PG-13.
Well,
because my son was complaining about that. He's like, PG-13. I'm like, dude, you can get a lot. You can get away with a lot in a PG-13 movie.
Was the game gory?
No.
Okay, so it's kind of
the game didn't show a lot. Well,
because it's like it's seen from like first person.
Okay,
sort of.
Yep.
The more like what I would call the graphic parts of the game, they show in like cutscenes.
Yeah.
But the cutscenes are like in Atari graphics. So like,
oh sure,
you don't really see anything.
Yep.
But
right. Gotcha.
There's some wicked concepts behind what
I was going to say, if you think about just like the plot, I mean, or the concept behind what these creatures are,
right?
It is grotesque.
Yep.
Like, but it's more like mental. You know, what you're imagining is probably worse than what you're going to see on the screen.
The Toxic Avenger. This is kind of like a cult classic from '84. This is obviously a remake starring Peter Dinklage. They've shown like a little image. Like you don't really see much of it. But...
Was that an intended pun? A little image?
Oh Jesus, no, it wasn't. I'm not that creative.
You're terrible.
I'm not that creative. You ever listen to the podcast Smartless? It's got Jason Bateman. Okay. Have you seen the HBO series?
No.
Or it's just like kind of on the road. But anyway, Peter Dinklage makes an appearance, and in hindsight, Jason Bateman's talking like Sean Hayes and who's the other guy? Will Arnett.
Yeah.
And he was saying like he thought he fucked up with Peter Dinklage because he asked how the little ones were. Because he has kids, you know. So that just reminded me of that. But Kevin Bacon's in it. Elijah Wood, Lloyd Kaufman co-wrote this. He's the creator of Troma Films, part of the the original Toxic Avenger. This is kind of like a cult classic. It didn't have a cartoon or some.
There was
toy line?
So there was a toy line, which it's on my short list of toy lines to collect because there's only like 6 or 7 figures in the entire thing. Mm-hmm. But it's still relatively expensive, unfortunately.
Sure, yeah.
At this point, and there was a cartoon, which it was it Toxic Avenger or was it Toxic Crusader?
I think it was Toxic Crusader.
I think it was Crusader in the cartoon.
Yeah.
Toxic Avenger from the movie.
Okay.
And the movie, I used to watch it Up All Night with Gilbert Godfrey.
Yeah.
It was on there all the time.
Yeah.
So I'd seen that movie several times.
Terrible, cheesy
I've never seen like
boobs. Yeah.
I've never seen an uncut version of it. I've only ever seen it on Up All Night.
Really?
I've never seen the actual.
I saw it on some
Toxic
streaming
Avenger.
service years back, but yeah, it's.
I'm sure it's going to be $4 on Apple iTunes that I can buy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When this movie comes out,
right?
So.
Yeah, I mean, I know in the past, I think Arnold was going to be in this. I don't know what he was going to play, but that's changed, it seems. But
he's going to play the mop.
He could have been the Toxic Avenger because
I don't know what he was going to do, but I like Peter Dinklage as this character. I didn't know he was going to be the main dude. So, and I think
I'm interested to see how they're going to do it. Like, I'm interested to see like a trailer when that hits.
Yeah. Right. The image looks pretty cool.
The image looks cool, but I want to see how it all looks because I'm having trouble visualizing Peter Dinklage in that role.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be different, but it's still produced obviously by Kaufman and Kaufman he worked for Roger Corman, and then James Gunn worked for Kaufman.
Roger Corman was a low budget genius.
Yeah,
he was.
He employed so many, like I think Cameron did like Piranha 2 for him.
Oh yeah, that was Cameron's first movie.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many greats that came out of all that. But
Death Race. Yeah. Fantastic Four.
Stallone was in that. Yeah, I seen that Fantastic Four. They made that just to keep the rights, basically.
Yeah.
Carnosaur, the Jurassic Park ripoff.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Came out the same year as Jurassic Park. It was called Carnosaur, and it was low budget awesomeness.
Oh, that's great. He do. Oh shit! I just had the thought and I lost it. Oh, did he do Captain America? That one from the 90s? No, that was a Canon film. Never mind. That was Canon, I think.
No, he did famously Fantastic Four.
Yeah, and I seen that one.
Never got released.
I saw on YouTube years back. Yeah. So in game news,
Gamescom 2023 just happened.
Nice.
So we've got a lot of new
cool
stuff.
Shit coming.
Yeah. Little Nightmares 3 I'm excited
I love
for that.
Little Nightmares. That's such a fun game.
It is.
I'm not familiar with that.
It's another scary game.
It is.
Don't play it in the dark.
So this one is going to be developed by Supermassive. Did the Quarry, Until Dawn. Very good developer. Very
Sweet.
Good, like horror-centric
Nice.
developer. This one's going to be actually a two-player, like a two-character co-op kind of thing. So you can do it couch co-op or online, which will be kind of cool. They actually have a podcast for the Sounds of Night called The Sounds of Nightmares.
Really?
Developed by the people that are involved in this game, I guess. That's out now. So
they just talk about like the making of it and all
I haven't checked out the podcast.
Not sure
it's
yet.
like it's on my list to check out probably, but looking at a 2024 release for that.
Oh shit.
What platforms?
I want to say I don't know that they've
I'm sure
they've
it'll be like
said.
PS5 will be
I'm sure
one of them because
next. I'm sure like
I got
next
it on
gen it's gonna
PS4 the last one.
Yeah, I've got the first two on PS4, so hopefully, I mean, pretty much anything new that's coming out after probably late this year is going to be PS5.
Is the gameplay going to be similar to the previous ones? So basically, you're like sneaking around, right? You're like this character who's sneaking around these different rooms and trying to avoid scary shit that's going on.
Sure.
So
nice.
It looks visually, it looks pretty similar to the
it's like a stealth
two.
game almost. But
Okay. Kind of like Metal Gear a little bit.
Well, it's
But
like a
scary
side,
shit.
kind of like a side-scrolling type of thing.
stealth game.
Oh,
but
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Cool.
Payday 3, we're finally getting a Payday 3. It's kind of like, Grand Theft Auto 6 whenever that comes out.
Oh, sure. Is it kind of like Driven too? Driven was like a knockoff, wasn't it? Or was it Driver? That was a knockoff of Grand Theft Auto, I think.
There was a couple of them. There was one I had one that was a knockoff of like Grand Theft Auto that I really liked. And the only thing I didn't like about it, I think I had it on like PS2 maybe, is like the cut scenes. You couldn't skip through them, and some were like 10, 15 minutes long.
Oh, yeah.
So fun. It took you so long to play this game.
You're like, I go to bed soon. God
I know.
Yeah.
Well, this isn't like a Grand Theft Auto game, but it's like, I'm making the comparison because Payday 2 has been out forever.
Oh, okay.
And like,
Gotcha. Sure.
they finally are making a sequel. Ice-T is involved in this one. So he's going to be
So you're like, are
playing
you
a character in it.
What are you exactly in it?
So it's kind of like a heist kind of thing.
Yeah, sure.
Like you're on a, you play like up to 4 people on a team, and you're like bank robbers and stuff like that.
Nice.
Cyberpunk 2077 is finally getting a 2.0 update.
Okay.
Which is going to completely overhaul a lot of the mechanics on it.
Sure.
So even the developers like recommending that you just start a new game altogether.
Damn.
Once this update comes out. So it's hopefully...
Steve played that for Xbox, I think, and he didn't have problems. Was the PlayStation notorious for the issues or computers?
So I think a lot of the issues was with the previous gen consoles. Like it was, It was mainly like, I think it was mainly developed to be a PC release.
Okay, sure.
And then putting it on the consoles, there was a bunch of problems with it.
Right.
So that's getting updated. Mortal Kombat 1.
Sweet.
Tons of stuff out there for that right now.
It's like a remake of the first game, but it's
yeah,
that story
they're kind of like rebooting it again, but it's
okay. Gotcha.
I don't know. This one's going to be totally different. It's going to be kind of designed so that people that are new to the franchise can just pick it up and kind of run with it.
Sure.
Because I know like Mortal Kombat 11, if you play somebody online with that, they're like, you're dead in 5 seconds because they know all the little combos and shit.
Right. Yeah.
So this is supposed to like,
back forward. That was the only combo I could ever do.
Put everyone on the same playing field for now.
Yeah. And this is supposed to be a little more story focused.
Cool.
Too.
Cool.
So
nice.
That reminds me. When's the next movie coming out?
2? Probably be
2025. I thought.
Fuck! I hope I'm alive.
Shit. I mean, they got it casted, but
I liked the last one.
Yeah. Sure.
I ain't getting any younger people. And The Getaway is that game I was talking about.
The Getaway.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember that one.
Okay.
Long ass cutscenes I couldn't skip past.
God.
Frustrating as hell. Fun
You're
game
like,
though.
God damn it.
Yeah, it was fun. Last 3 big updates. Of course, RoboCop Rogue City.
I'm so
it looks so
excited.
good.
Yeah.
It doesn't even look like a
excited.
game.
It doesn't.
I hate that. I do and I don't because it's so real.
Yeah. It looks great. I really hope it's good.
I'm looking forward to that.
I'll buy that for sure.
Yeah, there's a
Take my
gameplay.
$75.
There's a gameplay trailer out there right now that IGN has, and I think there's a closed beta. It's going to be going on Steam for the PC version.
Cool.
So if you can sign up for that, good luck.
Yeah, Can I get that on my 10-year-old Asus computer?
I probably not.
All right.
Then The Last Ronin. This is another one that's
the Ninja Turtles.
very highly anticipated. So it's not didn't get any gameplay with this trailer, but we did get the scene of The Last Ronin kind of laying out all the weapons and draping the the bandanas across it and everything.
I'm excited about that.
Is there a cameo by Usagi Yojimbo or Panda Khan?
Maybe.
There should be.
I hope so.
I hope there is.
Dude,
they're actually
too.
Panda Khan was my favorite.
I'm
actually
kind of learning of the Last Ronin story. Like I didn't really know anything about it before. Cool. Yeah,
actually adding Usagi Yojimbo to Shredder's Revenge, so I'm excited to play that when it comes out.
Well, and did you see the fan creation of? I mean, it's kind of another rabbit hole. Someone did a scene of like the turtles from the 90s film.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Did you see that shit?
Oh, no. That looks amazing.
So awesome. Yeah.
Like done up like The Last Ronin? Or
no, I mean
it's like a fight, basically
it's
like
not
a
game,
fight
it's just
scene
fan made, right? Yeah, it's just like a concept. But yeah, it's like Leo is in a parking garage or something.
Yeah, and like fighting the Foot Clan, like actually using his weapons on them and stuff.
Which they weren't allowed to do in part 2.
Right, which I didn't catch that, but no, it's him, and then there's another scene with maybe it's Donatello. My God, I'll send you the link.
All right, I want to see that.
Fucking cool. Like that's the movie I want. I like this new turtle film, but
is it good? I haven't seen it yet.
I liked it.
Is the animation irritating?
No, because if you like the Spider-Verse animation,
I don't.
Oh, you don't. So it's not exactly like that. Okay. It's not. It's because it's
kind of that. Well, it's not like that.
It's kind of a knockoff. Okay. It's similar, but it's not the same. Did you catch it?
It's a little. It doesn't have like that jerky like.
Yeah, it's more kind of crisp.
Like that's what I don't like about like that Spider-Verse type animation.
Kind of has to grow on you a little bit if it can.
Yeah, but I'm more like classic anime.
This is kind of more solid. No, I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. It definitely takes it in different directions, but when I saw this test footage or whatever it is, that's because I've been saying I want them to get back to the Henson type turtles, but
this looked like that, but it was
like what they could do.
CGI.
So I never saw the Michael Bay produced ones. Were those CGI turtles?
Yes, they were the motion capture suits.
Okay, I never saw either of those.
And actually,
movies.
the dude who plays Jack Reacher now, his name escapes me right now, but he's huge. He was Raphael.
Okay.
And his voice is in it too.
Okay.
The first Turtles film of that, the 2 films they did that were Bay produced, Johnny Knoxville actually Leo's voice in the first one. Takes it kind of out of it.
Interesting.
But then they used the actor's real voice.
That's the other thing too in the trailer for the new one is the voices. Some of them are kind of grating.
They're very kind of kid, like they're all like, even April's young in this, so
yeah.
But it takes it in new directions. It's interesting.
They focus more on the teenage aspect of it.
Yeah. But I still like my Splinter, like from the animated series with the red robe and stuff. They just never really seem to get him right. Except I did like him in the 2 New Line ones they did, the Henson films, I guess you could say.
Yeah, the originals.
I just wish he had that robe, but I was the animated series is what got me first.
Yeah.
So anything from that, but yeah, this new one's pretty solid. But after seeing this test footage, we got to get something like that in the future.
Yeah.
It just looks amazing.
I really liked Elias Koteas as Casey Jones.
Oh,
in the originals.
Oh yeah. The 87 cartoon you're talking about?
No, the original movie.
The movie, yes. And then you bring him back for the third one, which he didn't even do anything in the third one. He just babysat. Babysat a bunch of ninjas, right?
Well, it was like Rick Moranis in Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, that's true.
He just babysat.
Right. Oh, I know. That first film's so fucking cool. I don't know. It's not perfect, but it's pretty damn... It's close, I thought, to what it... the second one was very... kid friendlier.
Well, that
It
was
wasn't
the thing, is that the first one was never meant to be a kid's film.
Yeah,
it's
and then
dark,
the
man.
second one they had like those weird studio mandates where again they couldn't use their
Cold
weapons.
cuts
Like
and-
yeah. I mean, you can use sausage as a nunchuck, but not nunchucks as a nunchuck.
Yeah,
Fuck out of here.
Vanilla Ice, a little dance number. Yeah,
Go ninja, go ninja, go.
Go Ninja.
it's catchy.
And also as a kid too, I'm a lot less forgiving of it as an adult. But you had Toka and Razor as the mutants, and I was like,
Bebop,
Bebop and
Rocksteady
Rocksteady, this is some
knockoffs.
bullshit.
Yeah,
So-
which I just found out the creators didn't even like Bebop and Rocksteady. That was totally made for the cartoon series, I guess, those characters, which I dig those characters. And they're in this new film, like the whole lore's there. I mean, it really showcase a lot of things, but it's, it rejuvenates the franchise. But yeah, I still want it to get back to kind of marry all the looks we've gotten in the other takes, but this definitely like takes it further into them being more accepted. Like it really does. So it's interesting.
Makes me want to get my Ninja Turtle toys out and play.
Well, I see the new ones, and
The new ones aren't bad looking.
I'm happy that I think they're popular, but it's like I don't have room, and
I still like the aesthetic of the old ones a lot better.
I'd rather save my money and get the oh god, what's the brand called? They really make the awesome toys.
Oh, NECA?
Yes. I've seen like was it 12-inch figures from the 90s film. Oh my god, I'd love to collect each one of those. Like,
Oh yeah.
they had one at the Des Moines Con. It was Donatello, but
Yeah,
it was kind of reasonable, but it was a lot.
Yeah.
Definitely if you wanted the whole gang, you're like, that's
I've still got some of the I don't even have a full run of the original collection. I'm missing a lot of the rare ones at this point.
Yeah.
So I've got all the usual ones, but
they released them again though, but except
The main four.
they made their belts like color coded. I'm like, no.
well,
That's not
and also
something.
too, so I bought a set of the
It's all different.
kind of the classics or whatever you want to call them, the re-releases.
Yeah.
The weapons, like I broke the nunchucks immediately when I tried to like bend them to put them into Michelangelo's hands. Like it just snapped right in the center. And I'm like, son of a bitch. Didn't have that problem with the old ones.
That's why you get a 3D printer.
I know.
You make
my
it
own
stronger than the
nunchucks.
damn toy factory. Review recommendations.
Check out Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I want to. I need to.
Two
It's pretty
episode
good.
premiere.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've heard
I-
mixed things, but I'm interested.
I do like it a lot better than I did Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan took a little time to get my interest peaked in it.
That one could have been condensed in my opinion too. But yeah.
and I've never seen any of the like Clone Wars, Rebels.
Dude, you got to watch the
Any of
Clone
that
Wars. It's
stuff.
Such a great series.
Yeah.
Well, you'll probably love because a lot of those characters are
Yeah,
like live
Clone
action
Wars,
in this
Rebels,
show.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they go to Tatooine in this series, I'm fucking rage quitting.
Yeah, because fucking Obi-Wan talks about that in the first episode, or Star Wars, the original film, where it's like this planet's like a shithole. No one comes to it, but yet every series we've
Every
had
series
since
has gone
then,
back to it since then.
This
yeah.
is the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like fucking New York.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But no, I saw both episodes today. David Tennant plays Ahsoka's droid. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's got a good robot voice, it kind of gives a little away, but I don't think it would be enough for you to be concerned about Jonah or anyone out there. The intro scroll I thought was like not good.
Well, you don't necessarily need to do that because it's not a Star Wars movie.
Right. Well, like,
I think if it's in the like episode 1, 2, 3, 4, like that format, then do the opening crawl because
it is a crawl. That's why I'm like, because the spin-off films had like just a quick little sentence or so, but this had like it was a scroll, but it was like one I could do. It wasn't the fancy 3D looking one. I thought that would have been badass to have that in red font. Keep the red font, but make it like the Star Wars scroll.
Yeah,
it's probably expensive. Who knows? But that I'm nitpicking a little bit, but that kind of was weird. It was it didn't feel like is this part of the show? That's like
if that's the only complaint I have about the show, by the time it's over, then I'm perfectly fine.
No, same here. The map ball she gets. This is all in the trailer, so it's not giving anything away. But there's a cool meme about it being like the same design from Treasure Planet. I don't know if you ever saw that Disney film.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Anyway, there's like.
So are they trying to put it into the same canon as Treasure Planet?
No,
Is that what they're doing?
It's all accident, I'm sure. They're like, hey, we need a design for this ball, and then they're just watching a Disney film, and Disney owns it. Maybe, I don't know. That'd be a crossover.
They're like, here's a leftover prop from Treasure Planet, which was animated anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And the thing is,
so it wouldn't have been a real
prop, but that's all right.
The series, like, it takes place after Luke did all the work, basically. And I'm like, all these Jedis are now out here. Like, where the fuck were they? They just get the newspaper and like, oh, I guess we can come out again. It kind of takes you out of it a little bit because it felt like Luke was like the only one, and now like
even like Jedis. They made it sound. I mean, they made it seem, even if you think of like the movies. Revenge of the Sith, where when Order 66 goes out and they all get killed off, you'd think that, because there wasn't a lot of Jedis to even begin with. At least that's what they lead you to believe.
Right. So they either retreated or they died. And this one's like, we got all kinds of them, which I'm not really complaining. Ray Stevenson, great job he's done so far. Sad that he's no longer with us. Yep. And they do a nice little quick tribute to him. But yeah, I thought there is a scene involving music that's got lyrics that took me out of it a little bit. I don't know if you remember
the speeder bike scene.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
I liked that.
Okay, yeah,
okay, because
I'm sure a lot of people will. I just,
so it was just the music because there's like music with singing in it.
It's like a rock. Yeah, it's like heavy metal music she's playing on her speeder bike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just like, you know what I mean? Because it's like Star Wars universe with our music. I'm like, it's weird.
Yeah. Well, you don't think that they sing in the Star Wars universe?
No,
they do. There is scenes where they sing in the Star Wars universe.
Jedi,
yeah,
Jedi. That's the Lucas cut, isn't it? I don't think the originals they did. I don't know.
Yeah, that is the Lucas cut.
That is terrible. Special edition. Yeah, but I mean, you got to think like they've got.
I know. Whatever. Did you like the Power Ranger bikes in the Mandalorian or Boba Fett?
Boba Fett, no. The fucking Star Wars Among Us characters. The
only good part of my favorite part of Boba Fett, aside from when it became Mandalorian season 2.0, was when Boba Fett rides the Rancor.
Yes.
I mean that was that
was pretty cool.
Awesome.
Right. Yeah. He just, again, he was kind of like Nick Fury in Secret Invasion.
Boba Fett?
In that show,
the series as a whole was a miss for me.
Right.
But
I mean, especially with that hook, at the end of Mandalorian season 2, where they storm the palace and kill everybody.
He takes out Bib Fortuna and sits in the throne.
Yeah, they brutally kill them, and then they're like, "Oh, I'm going to be nice to these people." Like, and then you had Jennifer Beal, or fuck, that's not her name, but she was in Flashdance, and she was kind of said to be a big character, and then she just dies in an explosion, and it's like, oh, that's it. She didn't do anything. It was just kind of
live action Cad Bane was awesome too. So I got
that was cool. That was cool to him. Yeah, I think all the live actions they've done, obviously.
That reminds me, I just got a Cad Bane action figure in the mail today.
Oh, nice!
Got to open that up when I get
Every day's Christmas.
There you go.
Right?
Something like that.
Hopefully,
it's not Santa Claus that's bringing me these things. Unfortunately,
I pay you money and you send them to me. This is bullshit.
Okay, you might want to reserve this because I'm about to make a really bad joke.
Wait, I don't know what does what. Oh, I see it. All right.
So when Jonah's wife met him and he says, "I bring home 6 figures a year," what he really meant was action figures.
That's pretty good.
I mean, it's accurate, but it's accurate. So here's a funny story real quick as we wrap up.
Yep.
So when we first started dating, my wife and I, she knew I was an action figure collector because I had moved out of my parents' home and into the basement of a guy that I worked with. It was him and his boyfriend, and I had like the whole basement to myself.
Yeah.
And I at one point had brought all of my G.I. Joe toys over and had just sprawled them out all over the floor of this basement. And so she was, knew about it. And then when we got our first apartment together, she was like, "Yeah, those toys aren't coming with you. Like, you're a grown man. Those toys aren't coming." I'm like, "Okay." So I shipped them all. I put them all back in my parents' house. And we get this small, like 800 square foot apartment in downtown Des Moines on like Park Avenue there or whatever it is, Park Street. And I slowly, over like several months, started bringing the toys into the apartment and hiding them in like closets and under the bed and bins.
Nice.
You could have opened up like kitchen cabinets and there would have been like G.I. Joe toys hidden in there somewhere. Like, I did that until we moved into our next apartment, which was like a 1,600 square foot loft in the East Village, which I actually had a room for that stuff, luckily. So
Nice.
she knew what she was getting into like way ahead of time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. She knew I had a problem.
Oh, nice.
Anything else you'd like to recommend or review before we take off?
I don't think so.
Nothing? Okay.
No, good.
All right. Well, we'll be back sooner rather than later, I hope. I know I'm looking at the camera. It's not on anymore.
Who are you looking at right now?
There's a ghost. I'll just do a still image for all the rest of this. But, yeah. With that said, I'm Josh.
I'm Bill.
And I'm Jonah.
And Jonah, we're going to do that idea. We got to make it happen.
We are going to do it. And
Top
my apologies
secret.
for ever calling that guy Fat Damon. He's not fat and he's not Matt Damon.
Well, with that, take care, everyone. We'll be back.
See ya.
Fat Damon.
Fat Damon.
That's an action figure I would play.